Okay, we're good.
All right, let's go.
Hodl,
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 hodl.
hodl. Save,
Save, save,
save,
save.
save. Build a,
A
build
build,
a,
a
build
build,
a.
a
Sound
sound
money,
money,
sound
sound
money.
money.
This is members only, guys. Haven't done this in a while, and wanted to do it because we penetrated the 30,000 mark on Bitcoin last night. I just want to be here to hold your hands and give you my best analysis of the market. If there was anything that we're close to, if what it looks like is almost, it looks like the fall of what's that, 2018, when we were trading there at 6,500, and that was the year I was having problems. It's kind of like this year. I couldn't trade, wasn't making any money. I get long and get stopped out. I was trading big, really big positions then, but that's oh, well, in 17. But then I wasn't. But that was when we were at 6,500 and 6,500. And if you remember Tone Vays, he said, "Yeah, this is a certain triangle, a flat triangle that going to descending triangle. So we're going to eventually break it." And he got, and he actually traded publicly for the first time, and got shut down on BitMEX because it came from the U.S. Anyway, that's another story. But it looks like that kind of situation. So the question is it going to repeat? Yeah, nobody knows. I don't think so. I mean, if you want my talking out of my ass, I don't think so. But nobody knows. I don't know. I have never ruled out this market breaking down to 15,000, and that would be just perfect. If you remember, we were about 6,500. I think we routed up to 68 or something. It was just before, any rate, the little B cash trick and B cash. I forgot what it was, but they did a split. They did a
Right.
hard fork, and they didn't. So, and all the shitcoins went to hell, and so did Bitcoin too. Bitcoin lost 50% of its value. Guys, we're at 30,000. You lose 50% of your value here. Bitcoin can go
Wow.
to under, and I've said that. I said I don't like this thing could go to under 15. That's not a prediction. I don't predict anything. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows, and we trade
Nobody
accordingly.
knows.
So that's the whole thing. That's what this money management thing is about. The thing is, you just don't want to lose your ass trying to think you know something, because I don't know. So
Nobody does.
the the question again that I'm going to kind of remind everybody is not where the market is going, but are you going to be prepared, psychologically ready, uh, you know, or are you going to be completely devastated and wiped out so you can't move? I mean, you can't act. You're just sitting before the screen. What's happening to me? So you have to stay nimble and loose. You just got to, and you got to have fun trading. If you're not having fun, you're over trading. Okay, I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm having fun writing right now. I'm really right. Yeah, of course, I'm getting stoked for this conference, and I'm getting stoked for all these. I might be the only one really interested in these topics, but this is going to be a real Bitcoin conference. But I wanted to go over first. Okay, do you want to pull up those charts? The first one we'll look at is the Bitcoin dominance, and there it is. You know, good. I mean, fundamentally, we should go all the way up to back up to 90%. That's where that's where we should go. But it doesn't mean we can't break down and go back under 30 and spike down or something. Um, but what happens is if you go back there to 2018, go back there to that low, right down in here, the market broke was uh, actually going to let's see, that's January 18th. I got to get my thinking
First
cap
of
on.
January.
That was January. So, but let's see. Well, anyway, what happens is Bitcoin tends to lead the way down, and then it also leads the way up. So what can happen is these shit coins can go into this huge bear market, and Bitcoin's not. It'll follow it to a degree, and it could, like I say, to the degree it could still lose half of its value. But if you the Bitcoin dominance tends to rise, as the uh, markets break. And if you notice, when the market topped out, when we were rising, the Bitcoin went up first. We topped out there in 2021, go up there, you can see it, 2021. And this last, all those red lines going down, and give me the mouse, all these things going down, they were, this, I can't use this machine. I can't do it. It didn't work for me.
It's right here. Don't move it too quick. You move the mouse
all right.
fast.
All right, so right in here, this was basically the top of the Bitcoin market. I mean, March, April, that was it. When we started down, Bitcoin actually led the way down, and the altcoins were moving up. They were in a bull market. This thing, will that continue? I don't think so, but fundamentally, I still have the contention that we have to, as Tyler Jenks said, there's Tyler right behind me, we got to scrape all the barnacles off the ship. And we got a whole bunch of barnacles. We have some big barnacles on there, but we got 1,000 little ones. And so we got to careen that ship and scrape them all off. So, that's what we're in the process of doing. And it's not fun. I mean, these guys, because they don't, they've really screwed up the market, but that's always what happens. Markets are always screwed up because everybody has their idea. Everybody knows what's going to happen. Everybody knows where the market, I don't, and so you play accordingly. There's a shoulda and there's a woulda. And there's what the shoulda, market do doesn't mean that's what it's going to do. And so that's what you always have to keep in the back of your head. And once you start confusing your ability to predict with understanding that markets are run by people's emotions, and it doesn't have to make sense. It does in the long run, but it doesn't in any short run. It just doesn't. So that's your Bitcoin dominance. Fundamentally, it should go on up, and we should probably recover in here. Let's go look at the Bitcoin chart if you can. All right, so here you are. You got this breakdown. Look, we've done the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Look, we had this one. I caught that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we got this one. We went into backwardization. We're on 9. Are we going to pop back up? I don't know. We should. You got an 8 here. You got all kinds of reasons that you should, but there's no reason that it has to. And so it could pop down first and then reverse. And maybe we're doing that now. I just don't know. But
Don't never know.
But
never know.
The backwardization is saying you certainly don't want to be overly bearish in here. If this is the time you want to be in a strong position, so if this thing does break, you can take advantage of it. And it's going to be, is this thing going to be a repeat of what we did? It looks more like what we did back there in 2018. But, we've got that March 11th of 2020 in the back of our head, and who knows, you get this COVID pops its head back up again and we don't even know if it's real. I mean, the news is so fake now. You gotta do your own. You gotta look at the raw data and do your own independent thinking. And
research.
And if you don't, just forget it. Don't be listening to the news. I mean, some of it's very, very good, but most of it isn't. So that's it. Let's see, what else do I have up there? I was going to look at the gold-silver ratio. I think that's significant right now. Gold's been holding up very well, but silver, all the other metals have been going down. I've always said that this next move is going to be a gold move. Gold can go up to, I'm thinking at least 3,000, maybe as probably as $6,000, $10,000, even $20,000, and it would. In fact, people were predicting that years ago. 40
Really?
years ago. Oh yeah, 1980. People all over the place. Gold was going to $3,000 and $6,000. Well, it never did. But now I think it is set up that it can do that. And because this is a monetary crisis, it's not going to be you know, I don't think the demand's going to be there. A lot of this demand, for example, for silver is fictitious. It's this, subsidized industries, this solar panel stuff where you get tax breaks. I mean, everybody's got their lobbying groups and their hands in the trough, and that's just that's a fact of life. So. It's been disappointing. Gold just, the only thing I like about gold is just wears you out. And when it finally goes, I mean, I'm going to be sick if I wind up missing this gold move after all the patience I've had with it. But, yeah, I can't rule out. We can go look at the gold chart, too. Well, look at Bitcoin. Well, we already looked at Bitcoin. Let's go look. I don't have gold up there. I can go to my Evolve. Go to my Evolve, and we'll log in there. Go to Evolve. Hit EV. We can go look at my Evolve position. This is members only.
Okay. Evolve markets. Is that it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Hit that
Okay.
and hit log in. Boom. Yeah, because I have a good. Here, hit that. All right. I mean, you're sitting here kicking I'm kicking myself
Here's the
constantly why I should be
Slowly.
trading this more because these rallies just don't hold. We broke down today, and we broke down because silver and all the rest of them, they couldn't move at all. But just gold had the rally, and then finally they pulled the plug on that one too. But that's a 4 hour. We can check that out. We'll look at the 30-minute. You can see what's happening there. I mean, I can't make anything of that. You can do the 1 minute. We're all over the place today. Look at that. I mean, this thing. I'm kind of sick. I was thinking, but I really thought we were up here. We, follow through. We'll be good, but we didn't. We fell back down again. But the long term, this is just noise, guys. If we go here and you look at the daily first.
Slowly. You gotta do it slowly. Yep.
I can't do it.
Yep.
I don't.
Here, I got it. There.
This is not my laptop. This is a big old computer. Okay. So this is disconcerting because I thought, we had a pretty good reversal, and now we're back down on the day. That's on the daily. Can you do the weekly? Or scroll up.
Oh, someone's coming in. Hold on. Let me invite him.
Yeah. Yeah, check for questions too.
I think he should be coming in.
Yeah, guys, feel free to jump in. This is members
Weekly,
only.
right?
Marcus, okay.
1 week.
There he is. I know you. All right.
All right, let me get him on here.
Yeah, check if there's any questions on the group chat too. We can't hear you, Marcus. Can you hear us? Oh, there you are. We're good. How are you?
Sorry. I'm good, thank you. Just had to press the button for unmute.
All right. Well, I'm glad you came in. I think people feel freer when it's members only, and I encourage anybody else who wants to go on. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm here. I've been real busy, and I'm still not really trading much because it's just not my kind of market. But I'm maintaining my gold position, and hopefully it'll work this year. I think if it works, it's going to be a gangbuster. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just the way it goes. So
a quick question: is there a default for, like, when you send the email? Is it like an hour later, or because there's no time in the email? So, if you know what I mean.
Oh, when I send the email, I send it out just before we do the show. Is that because some people said, Yeah, so we do it within, usually we start the show within a minute or 5 minutes.
Okay, because the last time, well, the previous time I joined, you went to get a haircut, so the show was starting like an hour later or something like that.
We could post it and then we'll delay it, but usually, if particularly members only, we do it right now. But sometimes if we're doing a public show, if somebody's on.
Usually, if we do postpone it, is because Zoom usually lets you it gives you like a 20 to 30-minute window. So if it lags a little bit after that, it'll close it automatically.
That answers my question.
Yeah,
basically.
and then if we have a guest, they like yesterday we were having a hard time getting hold of Lamar.
Yeah,
He did a good show, but it was a hard time connecting.
So usually we'll send it out. Once it goes out, it's because we're ready or someone's already with us or something. Right.
And we're very much amateurs here.
Yeah, but we're trying to keep up with you guys. So,
Hopefully, yeah.
You know. Yeah. We're trying to keep up.
So hopefully we'll get a bigger community down here, the people that know what they're doing. And like I say, we've got
but what you're viewing,
got a studio, and we don't know
the viewers are not getting that. What you're viewing,
no.
Yeah, they're getting something else.
We haven't gone live yet because you haven't done your dance.
No. Actually, we already did that. We're in the middle of the show now. Yeah. So we are doing a show, but it's just members only. So
members only.
Yeah, just members.
Right.
Just members.
It's only members. So we
yeah.
wanted to distinguish that. So. And I haven't done a members only in a long time. I said, and then the goat lady, I've been so busy. I've been inspired writing. And so, and I'm really inspired. I'm really excited about the article I'm working. And I was working on banking. And then I, said, I got to look at this, stock and flow. And then I went back to doing banking. I said, wow, this is competent. I'm really getting excited about what's going on there in El Salvador. And I'm impressed. I see Jack Mallers has picked up and actually applied Lightning in a way that hasn't been applied. And, all of a sudden the light bulb went off in my head. I said, yeah, this is it. I still have problems with it because why is it really necessary to have another blockchain, other than Bitcoin? We can do it all off-chain and just on a spreadsheet. But then when I finally got it, I say, yes, because what he's doing is it's a payment rail not for Bitcoin, but it's payment rail for dollars on the Bitcoin network. That's the innovation. Huh?
It's all about the rails.
It's all about the rails. And this is, I go, wow. And what led me to it is when I did the study on stock and flow, because I looked at stock and flow and I said, this isn't right. I mean, it's a great model. I love Plan B's model. In fact, I invited him to the conference and he can't make it. But I started looking at that. I said, he's made some assumptions here that aren't correct. And number one, he says, well, if we assume that it's like gold, well, it's not. It's not gold. This is not a transporter. It's not a Star Trek transporter. And so it's, but what can happen?
If you get a chance, listen to the podcast with Preston Fish that I did recently.
Oh, yes. In fact, that's part of the article. That's where I picked up on it. Let's go to that article. Maybe you haven't read my article. I'll show you. That's where I got it from.
Yeah, that's kind of where the light bulb.
Yeah, stock and flow. In fact, maybe it's a new article I'm writing. Maybe this is my old one. No, this article I'm in the middle of now. I'm confused. Scroll down. I don't think this is it. That's what I got. Okay, well, you know what?
I can share it with him. Hold on.
Well, scroll down, because I don't think this is it. I think it's the one I'm working on. Keep scrolling down. No, okay, this is not it. So the article, go to my one I'm working. I'll share this with you guys because this is what I'm in the middle. I'm not completely changed the article. Go to stories. Okay. And now go to competition and currencies. Okay. All right. This is what I'm working on. So scroll down, and it's exactly.
Hold on, let me see if I can share it with Marcus right now. Hold on, Marcus.
Okay.
Sorry, this is members only, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm putting it together, and I can't hardly sleep because I'm so excited about what he's done. That's one of the. I said, oh, this guy's got it. You know, he's got it. And it's because I've always had. I just have not been able to get. Why do we need Lightning Network? We don't need it. But you don't need it. But because that's the whole thing is now we have a Bitcoin rail, but we're using the dollar for cash. So now we finally have our Bcash, but it's going to be in the fiat currencies, which fits in exactly with Hayek's theory, and that we're going to have that the competition is on one standard and will be competing with government standards. So, and it also fits in, I've never thought that Bitcoin was going to be a reserve currency. That, you know, that's going to remain within the realm of the nation state. So all of this stuff is just coming through my head at once. I'm trying to put it together. Scroll down and let's see if we can find that. Yeah, this is the quote that I have. Keep going. Because I was in the middle of this and I said, you know what? I'm going to get off of banking and just keep it on one focused topic. So these are two articles that I broke up and working on. So keep that one, keep going, because now it goes down to, because I had a different title on this to begin with. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
There was a quote there.
Keep going, keep going, keep going,
like
keep going, keep going, keep going. Because this is where now some of this I'm cutting out because I'm going to make two articles instead of one. There, this is it. This is the one, and this is, scroll up a little bit so I can read this. All right. Let me go up and let me read this. Keep going up. Okay. Okay.
Right there.
Lightning Network versus the Bitcoin, the asset. One of the revolutionary aspects of Bitcoin is its digital nature replaces the gold stock to flow feature with a digital network feature. The concept has been developed with Bitcoin Lightning Network. I have long been skeptical of the Lightning Network. It is unclear why either a blockchain, legal tender, or central bank is necessary for something that can be accomplished on a spreadsheet. Not being a developer, and guys, I come at this completely from an economic point of view. I don't get the back end at all. I really respect you. I'm scared of you guys that understand the back end of it, but I understand all the working parts. You give me certain assumptions, I can think logically after that. Not being a developer has been difficult to process for me to see the value of the Bitcoin Lightning Network versus Bitcoin the asset. And by this, I don't mean the network effect. I get that. Rather, I see little value in the payment rail for Bitcoin except for large transactions, and off-chain solutions resolve the problem. This changed radically for me when Jack Mallers explained in an interview with Preston Fish where he asks and answers the question, can we use the network without succumbing to some of the downsides and risks of the assets? Can I not literally divide them, can I not literally divide them, but technologically divide them? Wow, that just opened the whole thing up for me. Just keep scrolling down, and you can listen to that. About 19 is where it comes in. And so that in combination with the El Salvador announcement that Bitcoin and the US dollar are now legal tender solves the problem that as Bitcoin emerges as Hayek's standard, its usage as cash ceases. The Bitcoin payment rail becomes the payment rail for government fiat and cash transactions, while the merchants and producers simultaneously have Bitcoin access in wholesale or other large-scale transactions. This is the use case for Lightning Network that was not evident to me before this explanation. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how else. That's why the light bulb, and that's why I'm developing. I said, it took me a long time to put my head around it.
Well, and the other aspect being that if you want to send $20 from the United States to El Salvador using Bitcoin, the transaction fees in the future would be prohibitive.
Right.
Because one sat will have a great value in the future. But the Lightning, because its transaction fee is, as they say, next to nothing or next to zero, you can literally send $20 and the person receives $19.99. So it's that aspect is very powerful for the third world, which again, people in the West.
Right, and most of the people are not going to get into the Bitcoin. Most people live day to day. Most people need a cash. You know, Bitcoin is for the producers. The money, the international money that has no boundaries, is that what that was the innovation of Bitcoin. That's why it has such potential, because it is limited to those people that are producing wealth all over the world. And now you have a payment rail that keeps it separate. So, you could be a small guy starting out just doing a cash little taco stand in San Salvador, and by the end of a decade, you could have a franchise down there of San Salvador tacos, and you export all over the world. This is the potential that it has, and that's what excites me. It just, it's not Bitcoin that's going to be used as cash.
Correct. And that's why what the government is doing in terms of allowing vendors to convert Bitcoin on their wallets instantly to a US dollar equivalent, where the government takes the risk in terms of the price changing, it allows them to use that technology, the US dollar, that they understand, but not take the risk on Bitcoin, and that volatility.
Yeah, and Jack Mallers understands markets. He knows, that's what I teach people, hedging strategies, and he's a lot more sophisticated than I am at it. But that is a way, he gets it, and that is a service that they provide, and it's kind of like, I think that is a legitimate government service. I'm not an anarcho-capitalist. I believe that governments do exist for a purpose, and one of their services is to create an honest weights and measures for all of the citizens, including the government, and by doing that, there is such a thing as coinage had this thing called seigniorage, which we've completely destroyed the meaning of what seigniorage was, but they literally coined money that had a face value with a less intrinsic value in the coinage, but it provided cash for the citizens, and it was a natural way of the government to raise revenue without taxation, and that is why the whole word of seigniorage came from, and then from that. Of course, I grew up in the day when we had silver coins, circulating silver coins. And of course, the dollar was depreciated so much that finally the silver content was worth more than the silver. And so then what is that? The law, Gresham's law comes into effect. And of course, the bad money drives out the good money. Now that's only true. That gets misapplied so often. That's only true if there's a fixed rate of exchange. If it's free floating, that doesn't happen necessarily. But where are you from, Marcus?
New Zealand is home, but I live in Brazil.
Oh, okay. All right. So, wow, that's cool. Are you coming to the conference?
Price of Bitcoin is not really allowing that at the moment.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make, because a lot of people, I think people, they don't want we offered it. It was available when it was 60,000, but not too many people grabbed onto it. So we're going to see if we can put a PayPal. People want to use their credit card, but I'm not going to offer a discount on it. If you want to pay by, credit card, it'll be, the $19.95. You don't if you don't have any travel restrictions in Brazil, do you? Just the flight? You'd have to have a COVID test to fly here, right?
I think so, something like that. From what I understand, Mexico's very open, so
you can come in here. Yeah, you can travel all.
My boss had to fly from Brazil to Mexico, stay in Mexico for 2 weeks, so that he could then get into Peru. So.
Wow, that's cool.
He was quite happy, to be honest. So yeah, it's all pretty crazy at the moment.
Well, it's not, it's pretty, it's real easy. And people got confused because they thought, I got to have a COVID test. No, you don't have to have a COVID test. You can drive down here, walk across. You can fly from anywhere in Mexico, within Mexico, no COVID test. It's only international flights. So if you're flying, from Tijuana International to, let's say, Miami, which we did for the Miami conference, we had to get the test. Now, the cool thing about Mexico, too, is we've found where you can get a test where they're not putting 100 Chinamen into your head. You know, they kind of, it's done, yeah. There's, first time I got that thing, I said, I'm never going to do that again. I couldn't get rid of, I had like at least 2 or 3 Chinamen running around in my head for a month. And whew, that was not a fun experience. I mean, I can take an injection anytime, but that COVID test. But then we found another place, and they said, "Oh no, it's different." And I said, "I don't believe you," but we did. In fact, they run out, and we just drive up, and they test you out in your car, and it was real easy. So, but we'll have that at the if you have to fly back. So, at any rate, so wow.
Can I ask you a question on BitMEX liquidations? Because
yeah, I don't know that I'm the best qualified. A lot of people have studied it more, but yeah, go ahead.
So the basic question is, say I have September contracts and I also have December contracts. For example, say my liquidation price on the September contract is 15,000 and my liquidation price on the December contract is 10,000, and I'm using cross leverage. Does that mean the liquidation price is actually 25,000? Like, is it do you combine those numbers, or it's just
you know what, you got me. All I know that don't trust the liquidation price, because as the market goes against you, then that liquidation price comes up on you. So, you know, it's probably better. I'm not, you know, I'm sure there's better ways than I do it. What I emphasize is you just limit your risk. You know, I mean, that's the whole thing. You got to be able to play the game. If you can't play the game, you know, and so, you know, that's the key. I mean, I'm not going to get into a, you know, pissing contest of where I can save this or save that. Because that's not in other words, I didn't know that 7% of my profits last year was made making a market until Victor pointed it out to me on the equity app, you know, and I go, wow. You know, I mean, I knew that I'd been making something, but I didn't know it was that much. And that's a tremendous amount, particularly if you're taking out 40 Bitcoin. You know, that's not a small amount. So,
no, exactly.
You know, you want that edge. So, and I do notice, you know, BitMEX has just been adding shitcoins and shitcoins on there, which has been great. So people, you know, if you have those shitcoins, they've given you, and if you sold your Bitcoin, you know, or your shitcoins, that's what I should have been doing. I saw it coming, and I you know, instead of, I've been buying Bitcoin a little bit instead of just buying Bitcoin and selling the shit coins. My whole equity would be completely reversed from what it is now, had you been doing that.
You're definitely seeing that exchanges are realizing that they're in a bit of a problem. So even Bitstamp, who historically was very quiet with adding altcoins or shitcoins, and Kraken and now BitMEX, they're all pumping them in, because if you understand Bitcoin, you basically buy and hodl. So they're not making revenue on trading. You know, you just dollar cost average. And so they need to be basically adding other casinos.
Well, here's the difference between BitMEX and the rest. And that is, BitMEX, you can't own them. It's just a derivative.
Yes.
That is completely different. So I think they're offering a great service, particularly a hedging service, to anybody that, you know, is a holder of these things. I mean, if you're a holder of some of these shit coins and you're not using BitMEX, it's just not a wise thing to be doing. And but boy, you know, it's rough. You know, I just hope that what we start seeing, and I mentioned it, to me, I want to see more and more assets that are offered using Bitcoin as collateral. That is if these exchanges can do that, I'm hoping NX will do it. I mean, every time I've been in conversation with BitMEX over it, I've been in conversation with other exchanges, buy a bit. Say, you look, you guys, if you really want to do this long term, is get more securities, get commodities, and have those so you can use Bitcoin to collateralize trading, because that, to me, that's the long term future. If I was an exchange, but I'm not.
Yeah. Oh, good idea. I never thought of it from that perspective, but yeah.
You need to understand.
Be something that works.
Yeah, and you need to understand. Okay, the exchanges are looking at it to make money, trading. So they're kind of interested in the speculator part. But I guarantee you, the people that set up these exchanges are not. They speculate, but they're primarily hedgers. If you look at the history of all the futures exchanges, the Chicago Board of Trade, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, all those started from a group of producers or they finished the product. They might be, a cracker manufacturer. Sunshine Bakery, I know, is a big one in Kansas City. Or you could be, Heinhold. I think they do a lot of hogs, and Iowa beef would be cattle, and then you got like Johnson Matthey and silver and gold. So these are the companies that, because they're trying to they look at the market completely different, but you have to know what you're doing in those cases, and you have to be well financed and have banks behind you. Because particularly when you're selling the futures market, to make a hedging operation work, you don't care. You can have a huge net loss in the futures market, but it's offset in your cash market. You're not playing the direction, you're playing the spread. And so it's an offset. But the problem is, it's kind of like what happens in BitMEX. If you're not well financed, you can get blown out here, and now you're really hooked, and I've seen it happen. I mean, it's horrible when it happens. I knew a guy that, he was hedging his feeder cattle way back in the 70s, and he hedged it, and he thought he had bank financing, but of course the margin called cattle market was going up, and up. He had this huge, paper loss, but he had to keep meeting the margin call, and the banks kept doing it until they found, we've had enough. We're not doing it anymore, even though it was fully collateralized. So so the problem is you almost have to be, and a lot of these companies do. They are so very closely associated with a banking institution, because you have to be. You're writing particularly in the futures market, you're writing a blank check, and you don't know how much that hedge is really going to cost you. You know what you're going to make by the time you unwind the whole thing, but that's it. Okay, here's a good question. Is it good idea to hedge a hodl in times like that? Yeah, I mean, I've written articles on that. Yeah, you should. Some of the things that you do is the goat lady knows how to hedge better than I do, because she bought 2 brand new vehicles when it was over 60,000. That's the time you do it, guys. I mean, that's the time that you sell a little bit, and then you hopefully you can make it back when the market drops. So your hodl, and the people that just teach, well, yeah, it's ideal you want your hodl to grow all the time, but realistically it's not going to. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to be, but the key is you keep that basic hodl, and you never, if your hodl goes down, then the risks you can take have to be smaller. That's just the way it is. I'm taking a risk on this conference. I don't know. I could lose my shirt on it. But you know what? It's the same 10 Bitcoin that I started the website with. So I can afford that risk. And if we just have a big party down here for all the speakers and the members, that's okay with me. We're going to have a great, my goal is to have the best Bitcoin conference that's ever been. And, if you don't come, it's on, you're the one that's going to miss it, because, that's it. That's what we're going to do.
Nice.
Okay, hey, look at that. Did you see that, Eddie? Quality of streams are getting to be a lot better.
I saw that.
All right.
Sorry, man, but I'm still working. My bad. I'm talking to Ernesto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got, yeah, which I need to get a hold of Ernesto. Ernesto's the guy.
Coming over.
Oh, good. Because we got to do he's our stage manager for and he's put this together too. So the studio. So he's really super. But I kind of got a bargain because I just have him on retainer because he does a lot of professional jobs for Peugeot, a lot of big companies, and he does a lot of the advertising down here.
Yeah, he was on that. He was part of the crew filming that Netflix show, Selena, and he does a lot of propaganda for Peugeot. I think was it Ford and these other things. So he's really a pro. Yeah.
And if you look at that promotional video that we have,
he did it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did the promotional video.
Did you look at that
video? He almost showed that because he almost got killed. He shot this truck. Almost ran over him. And he's, you should
I didn't see that one. No.
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen what happened after? Yeah, we don't have it. He showed me, though.
We don't have it here.
He's got it. He showed me. He was taking this picture, and the truck kept coming right at him. And all of a sudden, he disappeared. He was in the dust.
That's commitment to the work.
Oh, yeah. No, pull up play the Twitter video.
All right, hold on.
And people, that's getting a lot of attention, but he actually almost got run over. I mean, he could have got hurt.
Here it is.
Hurt or killed.
Just want to invite you to the Bitcoin Standard Conference.
That right there. He just about got killed on that with that truck coming in his way.
5-day conference.
It kept coming right at him. That was it. So we were very lucky to get that picture.
2-day conference includes hotel. Then we go for an adventure tour at the Horsepower Ranch. We pick you up at the Tijuana Airport, or if you're driving, just drive to San Diego, San Ysidro border crossing. Park your car on the U.S. side. We'll be there to pick you up. Walk across. We're going to drive you right to the hotel. Everything's included for one price, and you get a 15% discount if you sign up.
I don't know if he saw it.
All right. Yeah. I'll have to get that because we'll have to share that with the members. I mean, our cameraman just about got killed.
There, right there.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Right there. That kept coming right at him, and he just about got run over. I said you should have. I said you should have died for us. You should have. You should have made the sacrifice.
That's a horsepower.
All right. Well, anyway, they saw that.
No.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff happens here we don't talk about, but that was
That's normal in South America.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have a lot more fun down here. We don't have all the rules and restrictions, so you can get yourself killed walking across the street down here. But but I like it, so life's kind of full of risks. So let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up because I'm really excited, and I have not shared that. I thought I'd already published that.
That was a question right here.
Okay, what's that? I did that one.
Oh, you did?
By Michael, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, did I cover everything that we pulled up there? We did the gold, silver. We did the Bitcoin dominance. So the question is, are we going to 25,000? Are we going to 15,000? Are we going to 60,000? All of the above, guys. Any one of them can happen. And the problem is where we get messed up is we start believing that we know or can really figure it out. And you just can't. I mean, the longer you're around, you know what? And so it's really structuring how you trade. It's that money management and limiting your risks. And one of the hardest things to do is to, after you're trading big numbers, to cut it way back and just be a little trader again. But you can do it. And I demonstrated that last year when I took a very little amount and ran into a very large amount. Will I repeat it this year? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. But so far,
you never know.
Well, the gold trade, come on, gold, because if that thing's still working, that might be the one that bails me out, I think it could be it goes to it goes to 3,000. Now I'm gonna have a stellar year. I guarantee it. But gosh, it sure is wearing me out getting there. So,
but the other aspect of what you often talk about is not so much you don't know where it's going, but you know what you're going to do when it gets there.
right. But you have to be in a position to do that. And so what happens is a lot of times and that's where I kind of am now. I'm kind of pissed. I wasn't going to trade Bitcoin. I was going to wait and see if I got that 15,000, and then and now I'm in backwards. That's why I just put in a little bit. I'm not adding to it. If I got blown out, I'm blowing it out. But it just stopped down in here. It went into backwardization, and it looks to me like, we're done as far as going down. And but I don't know. I know that if it breaks, I'll be gone, and I'll still got my hodl, and I just put a quarter of a Bitcoin in there. It's not gonna. It's not like I'm betting the farm or anything, And then once you get in that groove, and now you can work with it and play with it, and.
The potential upside is pretty massive at this point.
Oh yeah.
Where the bottom is, nobody knows. But when we do finally turn, and when things start going bullish again, obviously we're biased because we believe and we hope. But the upside is pretty spectacular at this point because there's just no supply. Once everyone sees the momentum changing, it's just. The sell side stuff is going to disappear.
Right, and that's what I want to point out is that's why I'm not. This Bitcoin is a new asset, and I'm not persuaded at all that a lot of Muradov, I think that's how I pronounce it, and a lot of other people have suggested that we get a big enough market cap, we're not going to have these huge corrections. I think that that's just the nature of this beast, and I don't know that will change. And the reason is it's a unique asset, and that's why I don't like that we're trying to fit this stock to flow into gold, because Bitcoin doesn't have any stock to flow. It's got a fixed supply. It's not all released yet, but that's not a stock to flow. And that's why I've said all along, if we ever get a futures market where you can actually take delivery, somebody could squeeze the Bitcoin market, and just, who knows what would happen. I mean, it would be a legitimate short squeeze. That's why I don't think that we'll ever have a futures contract that will be deliverable. And it's not like gold. It's not like silver. Gold wins on the stock to flow ratio, and it doesn't even apply to Bitcoin. I mean, I understand that they're going there and they talk about it, but then they're trying to take this square peg and fit it into the round hole. And that's why I say, to some degree, we need to be I don't think competing, in other words, I think Bitcoin is the digital standard. But, and I think there's gold is the gold standard, and I don't think it's going to go away. We have fiat standards now. And my view is because we have this Bitcoin standard, and I think what you're going to see what Jack Mallard is doing, it incentivizes governments to provide these rails. The capital is going to be attracted to those economies, where there is perceived less risk of confiscation. There's perceived less risk of depreciation due to inflation, or depreciation due to the fiat, and actually the competition of currencies could actually, in the long run, restore the gold standard and keep the gold standard. And Bitcoin would then act as a governor, a blanket over it all, to keep the whole thing honest. Because if you have a bad actor, whether it be San Salvador or Bolivia or the United States, if it was the United States, then Bitcoin is going to just explode. And when a minor country, it's going to maybe have a blip, on the upside. But I don't know. that seems to me to fit the theory and what reality is going on. You know, that's and I'm just, like I say, until I first studied the Plan B stock to flow, and now I'm looking at, okay, if this is true, and then what Maller said, I get it, because now we actually have a B cash on a payment, because what people don't understand is once, and Roger Ver never got this, if Roger Ver's B cash ever became the standard, it would not ever be cash. Because once you're the standard, the only time gold was never used, gold was used as cash when we had a gold exchange standard. Once it was adopted, or gold exchange, gold warehousing, but once it was adopted as a standard during the Gilded Age, it stopped being used as cash. You could use it as cash. You could take a $20 gold piece or a $5 gold piece or a 10 and use it as cash, but nobody did. No. The only place that it was used as cash was at the California Gold Rush, where you had gold just laying down in the riverbed. You had private mints because, okay, I got this nugget. How much gold is there? So they would mint it. Well, this is an ounce, or as close as we know how to get to it. And it circulated as money because the things that were dear was coffee and jeans and picks and shovels. And, you know, the only way you could realize what the, quote, price of gold was to go back around South America or go through the Isthmus of Panama, you know, or take a wagon train across the nation because there was no transcontinental railroad back then. And then you could get the price of gold, the world price of gold that was, on the East Coast or in Europe or in Asia. But basically, gold was pretty worthless in California. Yeah, because there was so much of it.
Exactly.
And that's why people left. They call it the 49ers. It was a big boom. And, you know, I think Mark Twain was out there. A lot of people, you know, that was the thing. That was the Bitcoin. That was the big opportunity was out there at the California Gold Rush. And it was, you know, it was literally the Wild West. But, boy, it was not what, and then most people left. But California boomed, and then before the Civil War, there was, you know, California was nothing. And until they got that transcontinental railroad in, people were leaving California. The 49ers, I mean, some stayed, but a lot of them left. I don't know what the percentage is. But so that's where, you know, and to me, Jack Mallard has come up with the solution using the Lightning Network. So that's the use case of Lightning Network. It's not transferring Bitcoin. It's transferring the fiat, the fiat. Yeah. But it gives people that want the Bitcoin an option. So you've kind of got a payment plan and a savings plan all rolled into one. You know, so a small-time guy that's got a little taco stand is running a cash business. You know, he can actually expand now and grow. And you know, I don't think in the long run the remittance business will be that great, because you know what? If Jack Mallard pulls this off, people from El Salvador, they're going to be moving back. That's where the opportunity is. You know. I mean, I want to go down there this year and see what's going on. So, yep. At any rate, I think so. Unless there's something, did we cover everything we put on there?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to do one other thing. You know, I know Michael Saylor said he doesn't think Bitcoin is going to be the world reserve currency, and I've always thought that. So. And neither does the guys at the Federal Reserve. So we might be wrong. We're the majority. I think, and that's another interesting topic at the conference. Is one of the topics is, will Bitcoin become a world reserve currency? And there's a difference of opinion, and that's why I'm excited about this conference, because people don't realize uh, Bitcoin is not a Bitcoin standard is not monolithic. There's a lot of different of opinions here, and we don't know. That's what makes it so exciting. But by exchanging ideas, I mean, I just got corrected. I said I'm leaning a whole different way just by doing some additional research. Listened real carefully to what Jack Mallor and Fish, were talking about. And Fish did a great interview. Gosh, I wish I could interview like that. And you can't help but get excited with Jack Mallor. I mean, the guy is a young. He blows me away. I mean, he's cool, he's smart, and and he knows what he's talking about. I mean, without a doubt. And a lot of people, you can't just dismiss the guy at all. The more I listen to him, the more I take him seriously. He's a really very impressive young man.
Did you have an opinion on his other announcement in that interview where they're basically removing the cost to buy? So again, taking away the models for the exchanges by just charging, I think it was 0.1 or 1 basis point if you buy Bitcoin. So it'll be the cheapest way to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yes. No. That's got to be coming, and yeah, it's not free, but it's as close as he's running. It's a hedging operation. He knows what he's doing. It's obvious from a lot of people. Don't get it, but I get it. I think other people do that are familiar with markets. And the only problem, and this is rough, is the on rails into the fiat and off rails. That's where the hang up is. Once you're in the Bitcoin, so I don't know, all the regulatory stuff. So I'm not sure if I don't know if, as a U.S. citizen, I don't think I can use his. I want to see if I can get on his network. I think in Mexico, I'm probably more likely to be able to and use his system.
No, you definitely can in the US. I'm pretty sure the Strike app is available in the US.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I think at this stage, it's probably only the US and El Salvador.
Okay.
Because it's not available in Brazil yet.
All right, well, I'll have to get on. I just, I haven't had time, but it would be nice to get a wallet and do a purchase.
Exactly, because I think you've still got a US account, because again in that interview he was talking about he has his Chase Bank account, it's connected to his Strike account, and he just transfers.
Right, and that's good. Yeah, and that's good. I mean, my problem is every time I hook up with a bank, they close me down. I don't know why, but
I think we all know why. You're an outlaw down there in Mexico.
I'm sitting here. What am I? I'm not doing it. I love Capital One. They just shut down. I had a $50,000 line of credit. They just, we don't want you. We're closed your account. I go, and they won't tell me why. I said, well, what did I do? I pay my card off every month. Now what's next? I got to get my wife, and it's like pulling teeth. I said, I need a bigger line of credit. You need to start applying down here because they don't like me. I know, and they all say, well, you're not doing anything wrong, Mr. Braun. It's just that you generate all these suspicious activity reports, and we don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why a credit card would do that. I mean, that's not suspicious activity. That's just using a credit card. I'm thinking maybe I turned. Maybe it's because I turned 72. I think maybe there's an age limit. Once you get up there in years, they say, well,
we can't be having that much fun. It's not supposed to be out riding dune buggies and swiping cards and cards at hotels.
Well, I am having too much fun to the point I told the goat lady, I said, you know what, I wanted to go out just in the cars down to Arendi and go enjoy the beach. She's so busy, she can't go, but she says, well, I'm going to Tijuana tomorrow. Do you want to go with me? I said, yes, because I just need to get away. I'm just, I tend to get, once I think they diagnose me as manic depressive or something, but I'm very rarely depressed. I'm just manic all the time, so So there's no reason to be depressed because it doesn't do you any good. I know when you get that way, you just feel like you can't get out of it. But it's the best thing you can do is just get to work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that.
Ernesto's here, so we gotta
All right. Well, we got our guy. Anybody have any questions? Hey, Marcus, thanks for coming on.
No worries.
So I don't know if I answered any of your questions, but I tried. And like I say, I don't know. This thing could go break some more. I think it's going to hold it here. That's what, if you look at, we've been down here for so long, wearing everybody out. And, every time you get down to this level, it's been reversing and the, backwardization. We went and did it again. I always get into these things way too early. And my timing is, and particularly this year, hasn't been good at all. But I haven't focused on trading. I'm not focusing on that. I want to focus on building because that's part of trading. It's not just doing what I did last year or the year before that or the year before that. And I don't have to trade at all. So that's what, and then the goat lady says, you can't have this conference. You're not making any money. You're spending it on it. I said, yeah, but it doesn't, are you taken care of? I said, Eddie, what do you need? What do you want? You're taken care of, right? Can I spend a little bit? This is my fun. If I want to just have a big party, can I have it? And she can't really argue with that. So yeah, can you have too big a hodl? Yes. If your family,
an article about that?
yeah, if you don't have your family taken care of, and you have a hodl, your hodl's too big. Take care of your family first, and then start hodling. So. Which is most people have that opposite. They say, well, I'll trade. I'll take care of my family now that's not the right sequence of events. You have to get the order right because it's a lot easier to do it when you don't have to. If you have to do it, it's too much emotion.
That's when you take too much risk.
Too much risk, yeah.
And bad things happen.
And bad things happen. Because I did it the other way, guys, and I paid a big price for it. So it's a lesson well learned that hopefully, you can learn from me for free, and because I don't want it to happen to you guys. But it all turned out great. But, like I say, when something I think Hebrews talks about, when you're being chastised, it's not pleasant, but it's for your own good. And when it's all over with, you're going to... You'll realize what I've done for you, my son. And I said, oh, I got it, Lord. Yeah, smack me again. I needed that.
Another question.
Yeah. All right, what do we got here? Is there a maximum amount of BTC that should not be exceeded in a hodl? If BTC succeeded, it will be more than sufficient to live off of.
There we go. Is that better?
Well, what? Yeah, well, yes, and what you do is okay. The goat lady she has seen all the benefits of Bitcoin. She has no problem spending the hodl, okay? But she's never really been successful at, in a business. I'm trying to get that so I can pass things off to her. But she has now the security today that she didn't have when I first met her, what would have been about 12, 13 years ago, because we had very little, and I just had a business that was providing for us. But now, if we lose if Bitcoin goes to nothing, if something, we're all wrong and Bitcoin is worthless, she is provided for. And she has assets. We have a little gold, a little silver. She's most comfortable with property. She loves property and houses, and that's what she wants. That's what, it's your own comfort level. Everybody is comfortable with different things. I don't care about real estate. I don't care. If I was just me, I would be in some condo and it'd be, I'd have somebody cleaning it up for me, but I wouldn't. but I wouldn't have this exciting, wonderful life where I've got children and grandchildren and dirt everywhere, and all the excitement that I have with this wonderful woman and family that she gives me. So, it's what everybody's different, but yeah, I the first time that I bought Bitcoin was 2013, and I had to take a risk, but it wasn't a large one. I spent $1,000 for 10 Bitcoin. That same 10 Bitcoin is doing this conference, guys. It's built the studio. It's got her, I don't know how many houses she got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, but can't even keep track. She's got another one she's buying in September.
Remember when we worked out as a Rio, that small little place?
Yeah, we still got. That's a mission now. We got a mission. She's got a piece of. She's gonna get a piece of because she wants a little store out there. She's going to school and learning how to do beauty school. So she's doing nails and hair and all this stuff, which is great, So this is everybody's different. So, yeah, and that changes too. Like, I've been blessed beyond my imagination. I always thought that I would do well when I got out of prison, but, nobody else believed me. I kept saying, she wanted to, and I'm a completely different person. If I buy something, in particularly a house, I want it done and complete and working, and she doesn't. She wants to dig the hole, put in the concrete. She loves that stuff. So it's it just depends upon who you're sharing your life with and what your priorities. I've got, so, and it's not about me. It's just really not. It is to some degree. I'm happy. I want electricity, internet, and running water, or hot water. But running water, I can live. I've learned that running water can be a bucket that you go fill up, and then you run back in the house with it. So that's what we live now in our house.
Stinger. Well, that was before.
Stinger works for, yeah. Or hot water. You heat the hot water up on the stove, and then you use the bucket, and you pour it in the bucket. I never had a bucket shower before I came to Mexico. And I don't make a habit of it, but we've got.
No, actually, that is true. I when I first got out of prison too, I was living in the States, and anywhere in the States, you just go into the bathroom and you pull the handle or whatever. So it was new to me. I come out of prison and I come out here, and an outhouse is waiting for me, and I've never been in one of those. And I asked my wife, "Hey, where's the little pool to flush it?" She's like, "What? What are you talking about?"
I didn't know you could flush a stool that way. You got a bucket of water and you carry it in your bucket. Did not know that. So
I'm Mexican, and I never lived in Mexico except after I got out of prison.
Like I say, the whole infrastructure can fall apart. Mexico's going to do just fine. I feel sorry for San Diego and LA.
It'll break you, but nah, you got to stay strong.
But you can have it here. We have everything here. This house is. We got everything.
It's really nice.
It's just so there's. But like say, it's just like she cooks steak. She can't cook steak. We eat steak there. We like good steak, and basically medium rare, or medium.
You like some like really rare. I like mine.
Yeah, just take the quiver. Take the quiver out. But down here, they gotta chop it up. They gotta cook it thoroughly, chop it up, put all kinds of stuff on it, which is good in its context. But sometimes you just want, a
nice
steak and a baked potato, and green beans. That's it.
Just going back to your point, though, having those experiences allow you to truly appreciate what you have now.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's kind of the key. You've got to experience the lows, whether it be in life or the Bitcoin market.
Yes, that is true. Yes, that is true. Yes, that is true. You got to be humble in this.
And if it's starting to get you down, you got to lift yourself out and say, "Oh, just stop trading, get out of it, go back a little." when you're not in the groove, you're not in the groove. But something else, I could go senile today and that's it. But so far,
I doubt it.
My
very
facilities are
energetic, buddy,
still working, and I'm more excited than ever. And I do realize, I am feeling the age this last few years, but but I'm still running around circles. People half my age, so as long as I can do that.
He's up and down.
I can't see, I can't move, my fingers don't work, and all that. I'm like Jimmy G. I'm not as bad as him.
No, Jimmy G's a little bit different.
Yeah, he's
definitely.
He's 10 years younger, but a little more decrepit than I am.
I'm going to have to step out now. Sorry.
All right. Thanks we're done too. I got somebody waiting to see me.
Bye.
Thanks for
Later,
tuning in,
guys.
guys. We'll do it again. It was fun. Thank you, Marcus. Do it again. And you other guys, don't be afraid to get on.